What's happening, AfterBuzzers? We are back with another installment of the American Grit After Show right here on AfterBuzz TV. That's right, we're talking Season 2, Episode 7, Role Reversal, so stick around because you're not going to want to miss it.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
There we go.
I couldn't pick this up. I was like,
I did. You did. You got it. That's right, guys. It's the American Grit After Show right here on AfterBuzz TV.
Black women here are talking for y'all.
We're switching things around a little bit. I'm manning the host position right here. My name is Ty Matthews. Y'all can find me on all forms of social media at Ty Matthews PMA. To my left, of course,
Yvette, but my voice is a little.
She's, you know what?
I'm going through puberty, so
a little hoarse. It's fine.
you know, so it's going to be a very interesting voice. But you guys can always find me at Sports and Sass with 3 S's on Twitter and with 2 on Instagram. And to my left, I got my girl TK.
Get it.
Hey y'all, my name is TK Trinidad. You can find me on everything at TK Trinidad. We are in the final throes of my first season. It's going to be so amazing. I have parties going on, and I'm going to be in Toronto. It's going to be amazing. And also, I still have the charity event for the Boys and Girls Club for Canada and America. So go into my Twitter and all that good stuff and donate. And to my left,
that's right, our boy.
Yeah.
Wow. Get it. That's right. That's right. That's right. He said at the Poet Saint on Twitter.
at the what?
At the Poet Saint. That's what it is, right? Lem Gonzalez.
ThePoetSaint.com.
Lem Gonzalez, he's feeling a little shy today. It's fine. We're gonna
Very
throw
quiet.
to him. We're gonna throw to him occasionally. That's why I'm taking over the lead host position tonight. He didn't. You know, he's feeling not
feeling
well.
it.
He's feeling not well, so we'll throw to him occasionally. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about episode 7, Role Reversal. What did y'all think?
Lem, what did you think?
Oh my god.
We can't.
We'll throw to him. We'll throw to him. We'll get there. We'll get there.
You go first. Let
Okay. Well, you're not gonna talk. You might as well show the girls. Stop like hiding it with the hair.
What
Anywho,
girls is Bombshell?
Well, I mean, you can't have them peaked up like that. What's wrong with you? Just, jeez.
Try to sit up straight.
There you go, and then move the hair out so people can get it. There you go.
There we go,
See, I'm
okay.
helping y'all out. So I really like.
Stop looking at me, Lem.
Lem's wilding right now.
I really liked the show. The show was really good. I was really afraid that Chloe was gonna go home.
Oh my god, right? The fact, yeah, exactly. So yeah, we'll jump around a little bit, but basically now that Chloe's down to a one-person team,
my
Right.
gosh.
if she doesn't win the immunity challenge, Allison automatically goes into the elimination challenge, and that means if she loses, Chloe has to ring out too.
Oh my gosh, she
and
said
I don't think
something.
Allison is like down for that.
Oh my god.
What,
She's not down for the
Are you
cause.
talking about at the very beginning? At the very beginning of the
Of the
episode?
challenge, I texted Chloe too when she said it. I'm like, really? Oh, she said. So Allison said, "How do you want to be motivated?" And Chloe said, "Silence." I was dying. I said, Chloe, really? But I loved it. She's like, send back, LOL. Just.
And it was without even missing a beat too.
Yeah.
The second.
Yeah.
What motivates you? Silence.
Yeah, and it was the look too, like silence, like bitch.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
shut up.
Don't.
Like, why'd you even ask? Why are you pretending? Like, why are you pretending to like me? Like, I'm going to go get you some buttermilk.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh, it was so good. So
Well,
beautiful.
and at the top of the episode, Allison had that line. She was like, she's talking about, she's ruminating on the elimination challenge. She's like, I should have gone to that. I mean, it's not your fault that you get sick, but I still feel guilty. And you can just hear the kind of collective eye roll when that happens.
It was just I get it. I honestly think when you are in any type of any type of competition growing up or any form of military, you are in a different set from somebody who's just a regular person.
Right.
Meaning that your mentality is different. Like, yeah, everybody comes with their set of problems and stuff like that. But on the core sense, as far as getting it done and not having excuses, like, to me, the athletes that I know and the people that are, in the forces now or who are police officers or whatever, like, they just get it done. Like, that's just such a, like, lame cop-out. And for you to make up that excuse, well, I was just, really? Like, ranch.
Right.
Like, you can even have you can even do like a sandwich with like the hidden cheese in it.
Yeah, like,
you
at
can,
least,
you can,
like-
at least make it like it's just kind of like when people ask me to cover their shifts. Like, do you want to go to a birthday party? Like, you can even. You don't even feel any ways for me to make up something where I feel like I could take your shift?
Or just be straight up honest, like, hey, you know what? I want to go to my cousin's birthday party. Cover my shift.
Yeah, and I mean,
Hey, I
no.
don't want to go into the elimination, so can you go for me, or else
Right.
I'm going to go make myself sick with some buttermilk ranch.
Right.
I gotta say though, that's some commitment to literally physically make yourself sick instead of just pretending.
That's really
That's
crazy.
commitment.
not a
That's
good
commitment.
commitment.
That's crazy.
That's commitment to that
That's
tactic.
crazy. Like, imagine if you were married to that woman.
Lem, how do you feel if
Just-
you were married?
How do you?
Just commitment.
He's committed to not talking.
He's feeling quiet. We'll get it out of him later on.
Actually, Lem did. I think Lem has a message for us.
Oh, does he really?
Oh, does he?
Yes. It would be our guest. We may have found him.
Did we find him?
I don't know. Let's see.
Oh, I forgot there was a live chat going.
Nope.
Nope.
False alarm, guys.
All right. So
I
let's
can't
talk
with you
about-
guys.
Now we have all of this kind of equipment sort of collected, in one place. No one really knows what it's for. There's buckets of rocks. There's bins full of water balloons. And that leads to it's fun. It's fun.
I would love to have buckets of rocks and water balloons.
Sure.
Sounds like fun. So I would have expected the best thing to come out of it.
I'll tell you what. I am so glad they didn't pick me for the show because I would have went home. One, the suspense.
You would have strangled Allison.
Well, that. But one, the suspense of not knowing. Like, at least last year, you knew it was some physical challenge, and you knew at the end of that challenge, you had to go through, like, the whole thing and step on the thing and climb through the rope, and you have to beat a time. Like, I can do that. I can't do not knowing what's going to happen, and every week or every couple days, something else of not knowing is going to happen. And then you can't rely on something that's your strength.
Right.
So it's just like that would have definitely been like the enemy. I'm like, I'm you know what? I'm like, just let me just ring the bell now. Like, I can't.
I'd have been like, can I get an itinerary of what we're going to be doing? Just
Yeah,
Run down exactly what's gonna happen.
Yeah, because
Let me know.
when I was running track, I was like, I'd rather know what the pain is. Like, I'd rather
Exactly.
tell me what the workout is, so I know. Like, I'm still gonna show up. Like,
Right.
I was never that person. Like, we're doing 400, so I'm not coming. Like,
Right.
I wasn't that person. I was just like, all right, this is gonna
Just
hurt.
want to be prepared. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
Mentally
I-
prepare. Let me do it. Let me get ready.
Sure.
I'll go through it and complain afterwards.
Exactly.
When you're home.
So we got some bonding. Got some bonding over some water balloons. Of course, we got some bonding between Carl and Grady. Of course, just a little bit. But what's that face?
I think she's. Gonna
What do
be
you
here
think?
next
Because
week.
we haven't.
We're just gonna be like.
We haven't heard a lot from that kind of story in a little while.
Man, if they get together, she's gonna be the one running the show all day, and he might like it.
It's gonna be in a jar.
God
That's all I'm
damn.
saying.
God damn.
Balls in a jar.
Jesus.
Challenge. Get the balls in the jar.
No.
I thought you meant like, it's just like when she's ready, she just breaks glass. Like, hey, Grady, I'm ready.
I'd be like, okay, I'm ready to go. Bye.
Now, Chris, meanwhile, is kind of learning how to be more of a leader from birth.
Yes.
Oh my gosh,
Which-
him with George.
That was awesome. That whole montage was dope. Chris is my boy. I love that guy.
I can't. And Richard with the working out.
Oh my gosh.
Made that log
That log. He can't pick up the log, so he picks up the stick. And the thing is, I think he has football practice, like football
He
background.
was a football player.
Which is very.
I mean, I don't want to be rude, but is it like,
Yeah,
is
you might
it
as
real?
well be
Because
rude.
like,
Yeah.
like you don't lose that. Like you don't lose that
No, you don't.
after. And I think did he play at a collegiate level?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well,
I
I
mean,
mean-
there's
Because I mean, even if you played for high school, I know football players who only played in high school and they still have.
Well, it depends on what high school. That's a whole.
True.
That's true.
Because here's my pet peeve. I hate when I tell people like I ran pro and they're like, "Yeah, I ran in elementary." Like, no, dog.
No,
No.
Clearly, the
nothing
same
counts
thing.
until like after high school, depending what high school.
Right. Like you can with the rest of the folks that y'all in elementary school talk about your elementary school days. But if I've told you I ran pro, don't come at me
Nope.
Don't.
You know it's not the same thing.
It's like what. It's just like you saying you have a kid. And it's like, yeah, my dog. Like,
Yeah, it's like, oh, I have a kid to take care of. I'm like, oh, yeah, I
know
gotta
what
go
you
home
feel
to
about
my dog.
Yeah,
Gotta feed him.
I'm
take him
thinking
out.
it, but I don't do it out of respect of that's a kid. Like, I get it. So don't. Just in case you don't know.
No,
That's
yeah.
just
Absolutely.
it's like me telling you, yeah, I used to wrestle when I was 5. I jumped off the bunk. It was awesome, and you're like, oh, bitch.
Right, exactly. So we get a repeat appearance of the wall from last week's challenge.
Slightly different.
Slightly different,
Yeah.
a little bit different. This time around, it's going to be the cadre representing their own teams.
And they're holding top.
They're holding
they were
above their
Yeah,
heads.
above the head.
Right, exactly. What do you guys think would be more challenging of those two?
Above.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It really, I think it depends.
Well, I don't know because if you lock out like this, there's not as much pressure. But I know she's probably gonna laugh. But when I was a cheerleader and they would make you lock out your arms above you
Right.
for over 5 minutes,
Right.
that was just brutal.
Because I'm
Interesting.
thinking,
Okay.
I could not, like, I just can't, like.
right.
But then again, I can't even do a pull up to save my life. So, no, like, if the fate of the world relied on me doing a pull up, I'd be like, yo.
Pull-ups are hard as hell.
You're not gonna be on my team when the zombies attack. But if you hold
But
up,
I have really good tactics, so you might want me on
Strategy.
I don't know.
Strategy.
And I had a
They
dream
issue.
with them the other night.
Oh no.
So Lem.
Lem.
So what you do, like, I feel like if you're holding from the top, you can like engage your back.
Okay.
It's the bigger part. Whereas your shoulder, and that would hold on because it's a bigger muscle. I feel like if you're holding down, the smaller muscles are gonna give up. Now you're gonna rely on your shoulders. As you see, like some of the guys from last week, their shoulders started coming up.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It felt. It all seems terrible. And I wonder because remember who was on Scarlett and Janessa was on last week, and they're saying that it was slicked.
Right.
Like, so I'm wondering
right.
if there's the same type of like slipperiness on this week's show.
I was wondering about that. Yeah. For some reason, I feel like it was more legit this week.
Yeah, I feel like there wasn't no Crisco.
I feel like they would do that to the contestants.
They would do it to the
They wouldn't
contestants,
do
not
that
the
to
cadre.
the cadre.
I don't know.
Didn't sign up for no cooking oil.
Well, I mean, if I didn't know our guest wasn't coming, I would have
Yeah.
hit up Chloe.
I know, right?
You know.
Get some more
We tried. That's why I was like,
behind the
well,
scenes. I know.
Lem,
I know.
he gave us the same thing.
It's all right.
What are you talking
It's
about?
all right.
Lemon's right here.
He's so MIA, he's like
sending
spacing
texts-
out.
He's sending texts from there. He's so quiet. I know. It's like
Damn, Lem! You went from hosting, now you're not even saying anything? Jeez.
Ghosting us.
Now, you know, we get the cadre. We get Burke, Chloe, Grady, Ricky, all hanging on to these pegs.
Right.
Burke, of all people, is the first one out.
Well, Ricky was excited.
Right.
Because she
She's
had
like,
that
"I got
CrossFit
this.
background.
Got this.
Yeah.
locked."
She's like, what did she say? 300 pounds over here in a snatch?
Yeah,
Something crazy. That's pretty
Jesus
impressive. Because she's probably
Christ.
$110.
Yeah.
That's a lot of technique and a lot of weight. So kudos to her.
Absolutely.
But,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
But Burke's a big boy.
Burke's exactly.
He's a big boy,
yeah.
you know. He's not little.
Right.
And he's not, I mean, he's in great shape, obviously.
Right.
We know that. But he's not like leaner. He just,
Right.
that's
had
like if
more-
The Rock was holding himself.
Oh.
He could probably do it for hours.
I would hold the rock up for hours. I just
I'd
feel
hold him down.
Jesus Christ. Moving on.
I feel with Burke, it's kind of like I wonder what went through his mind. He's like, man, I've saved lives. I've protected America. Like this. Like this means nothing to me. So
Right.
he's like, F it, I'm out.
Right,
Like,
right, right.
Or was he frustrated the fact that he's done all those things and he
And
can't
he's doing.
and he can't
do
hold
that.
on. So I don't know. I would love to have heard his, what he thought about it in the end of it. Because
Right.
it feels like he's very passionate about stuff. So I wonder if he took these challenges to heart, or some of these are like this is for common people.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And you never know. Yeah, it could be something he's super passionate, or it could be one of those things where he just kind of pushes it all down.
Right.
Like, nope.
I'm
Nope.
out.
Nope.
Yeah.
Should have yelled America.
America. So Burke's out first. Next up is Chloe.
Mm-hmm.
Now the contortions that Ricky was going through to hang on,
Which is impressive.
that was impressive. Like First of all, I wasn't sure if all of that was allowed, but I guess as long as you keep your hands on the
as long
thing,
as you kept him on,
you're fine. But man, I felt so bad, just like
Why?
arching. It's you know that feeling of just like right there that he could, but then again, Grady was just like motionless.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was the one thing that I noticed is everyone else was struggling a lot, had a lot of trouble.
Well, yeah, like they always tell you, don't fidget.
Yeah.
Right.
The more you fidget, the more you're gonna lose your concentration. Then you're gonna focus on the pain. Then you're gonna focus on this. So it's like that's why I think the green team has done so well because he's always like just focus, lock in.
Right.
So if they're doing it, he's gonna do it, and they're gonna keep excelling compared to everyone else. It's like, okay, find it, stop.
Right. And it's
reposition,
exactly what Herman did in that same challenge. Just kind of zenned out and like just got lost in it.
I think what he did, I honestly think he locked in his, like, you know how you're doing like a lat pull down?
Yeah.
I think he locked in his back muscles until they could no longer hold out.
Right.
Which still held out more than everybody else, and then it went into his shoulders. But by the time it went into his shoulders, Ricky's struggling, so he needed to just... That's what I'm thinking. Like, that's what it seemed like. It's like he just engaged everything and just like, all right, cool.
Right.
Until it could engage no more, which is the smart thing to do.
when you lock out and engage everything, it doesn't... People would think that it's going to be harder, but it's not. It takes a lot of tension off of you.
You're engaging the right muscles, which is like if they're doing a plank, the same type of thing. Yeah.
Right. So eventually Grady's the sole survivor, which of course green team's
What is
gonna
it
get
with
again.
That Survivor song now I thought about it. Maybe next week.
But what is up with the green team? Last year it was the green team. This year it's the green team.
Always green.
Represents money.
Hulk smash.
That's what it is. Exactly. So we know that because of Carla's decision in last week's challenge, she's completely safe, right? So that means Richard's automatically in. Of course, Allison's the only one left on Chloe's team, so she's automatically in. So that means that green team only has to pick someone from Burke's team, which of course is prolonging that whole rivalry between Burke and Grady.
Yeah.
But who did you guys think was going in? Who did you think they were going to pick?
I thought they were gonna convince oh my gosh, I forgot his name.
Mike.
The Zen guy.
Mike. Herman.
I thought they were gonna convince Herman to turn his back on George.
Oh man.
Like I thought they were talking about George, but then it would have been like an epic twist, like, nah, we want him out because at the end of the day, they're right. Like even though technically they're a team, it's only one person that's going to get the money.
Right, exactly. It doesn't matter what team he used to be
on.
on.
And I know a lot of them were like, oh, it's teamwork, and I understand that, I get it.
Right.
But at the end of the day, all of them are worried about themselves.
Right.
And when, it's not like, hey, your whole team wins, you all get the money.
Right.
It's, hey, you're on this team, you got to make it to the finals, and then it's, you got to start stepping all over everyone to get there. And that's just that's natural human nature.
Sure.
You do as much as you can for the team, but if it's you and someone else, you're not going to be like, oh, well, she really needs the money.
Right.
Like, I've been here, I've pushed through this. No, like, so, I mean, if anything, what they're thinking of is, what is it going to say about me if I do this, or if I do this about what is it going to say about my character?
Right.
That's what they're worried about.
Right.
People's perception of them, not how they get to the finish line.
Right. Well, I also think too that they spent so much time, like the stuff that we see on TV is not even like a quarter of it. So they spent so much time, and when you spend that amount of time with the individual and there's no one else for distractions or whatever, then you're gonna get close to these people. So I kind of see how you would form a team because now you have that bond. But on the flip side, it's again like I almost feel like I wonder if you can go in with like affirmations, or I wonder if they check your bags when you go into competitions like that, because I think what I would do is like, have, if you can't have pictures, fine, but have some type of written like, hey, this is a game, this is not.
Right.
This is not like real life. Like, remember that you're playing for this.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if they're allowed stuff like that.
Interesting. I imagine so.
I would,
but...
yeah, because I would be that type of person too. I'd have something with me that's like,
yeah,
this is what you're here for.
Yeah.
This is what it is. You're
Speaking
gonna
of which-
experience this.
Speaking of which, did you guys notice that Melanie's name was written on Herman's hand at one point during one of these segments?
Ooh.
Yeah,
What?
yeah. At one point, he's he's talking to someone, and he brings his hand up to his face, and you can see Melanie's written on his back of his hand.
Oh.
You need to write Johnson.
There you go.
You know what?
Will it into
If he
existence.
weren't with child and a girlfriend, I would be a little bit more aggressive.
Proactive.
But given the fact, like, you know, there's that respect era, because, you know, I feel like eventually I'm going to be married to somebody in that stature, so I
Right.
feel like I don't want that karma.
Of
thing,
course,
you know.
of course.
Like, I don't mind women talking about how I talk about him from afar.
Right, from
But,
afar.
yeah.
Like, we're not gonna do anything.
Well,
Depends.
depends. It really does.
Well, I mean,
I might scream like a little bitch. I
I
don't know.
I might cry.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very. Out of everybody in the world, I don't like everybody else. Like, yeah, okay, whatever. Beyonce, oh, cool. Like, I remember telling cool. Like everybody else, but I don't know exactly. Like, am I gonna be like, oh shit, this is The Rock, or like, oh, like I've been talking about you for years. Where have you been? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know how you would be. That
reaction.
happened to me
How does this
once.
keep coming back to The Rock?
Happened to me
He has
once.
nothing to do
And
with
it
this.
happened with Andre Ethier.
Who?
Okay. He plays for the Dodgers.
Oh,
I was
okay.
always in love with him. Thought he's an amazing player.
Right?
I'm
you
there
met him?
in the dugout, have everything dressed up, got my mic, got my camera.
Uh-huh.
Starts walking, and my brother's like, because my brother was doing the camera. He's like, go talk to him. And I was just sitting there like, and he's like, you know, they can't say no. You got to press that
Right.
on. Like, go talk to him. I was like,
See, there's something about a man who's an athlete that just the muscle, the height, the muscles, the work ethic, you know, that he's put into it, that you know, like, if you were the girl, the work ethic that he would put into you is just an amazing thing. It's just
50 Shades of Grey.
it's just kind
Oh
of
my
that,
gosh.
you
Well,
know.
So speaking of the commitment and the
Lem
energy,
feels the same way.
This is where we get all of those training montages. We get Richard flipping the logs. We get, of course, George teaching Chris how to box. All sorts of stuff all over the place. Richard, of course, I guess along these same lines, Richard says, like, it's like a blind man at an orgy. Gonna have to feel things out.
That was a good one.
That was a good line.
Here we go.
Marie Antoinette says she'd do the same thing. She feels the same way about John Cena.
So that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I met John Cena.
Yeah?
I was starstruck in LA. I told my brother to go get his autograph for me.
Yeah, you know what? I wouldn't necessarily feel. I don't know.
I would feel intimidated. I think
Yeah.
that's what I felt because he was trying to talk to me and I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, is he gonna eat me? Is he gonna like hit me? Is he gonna hug me? Like, I don't know. And then my brother's like, yo, she's like in love with you. And he's
Right.
like, hey, and I was like,
Yeah,
you know, and then
I
like
don't
he
know.
signed in and
Yeah, I don't know how it. And you know what? I did see him backstage, and I wasn't into wrestling as I am now.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, okay, but who's that dude in the briefs? Like, who is he? So, yeah,
how do they stay?
I'm telling you, right?
I
Do
can't
they
even
have jock
go.
straps or something?
I can't even go in a wave. I go in a wave like one boob's this way,
I know.
bottom's coming off. I'm like,
But, you know, power to football players in tights and wrestlers and Speedos and well-shaped men who work out. It's a beautiful thing.
baseball pants.
Beautiful
Baseball
thing.
pants, yeah.
Lem, what are your thoughts? That's exactly.
Yeah.
He just like girls.
That's
in,
what I was thinking.
He just likes girls in heels.
Oh.
That works
Oh,
too.
yeah, that's true. That's
Hey,
true.
I feel ya.
Well, muscular men in heels for Lem. That's what I just heard him say.
Oh, you know
Now-
what?
Yeah.
I can see why.
Yeah, I could see it.
I
Now
can
we
see
got. I feel like we're gonna get a lot of mileage out of this one because this is a big episode for Chris. Obviously,
Yes.
you know, we saw him boxing with George, and we saw him learning how to be a leader with Berg. We also though saw him telling Allison exactly what everyone thought of her,
Yikes.
and how everyone thought she was being manipulative, and how, you know, the whole the now infamous ranch
Right.
incident.
Ranchgate.
Ranchgate. What did you guys think of Chris kind of telling her everything?
I see where he's coming from because
Sure.
I've been in that position before where I'm like, look, people are saying stuff about you and you might be losing your job, so I'm just letting you know because we have a relationship. But in a situation like that where like I kind of see where it's hard from because he doesn't see her as everybody else sees her.
Right, he's giving her the benefit of the doubt.
Right. So like I can see where he's coming from, but on the flip side, I think you have to determine who your alliances are, especially in an environment like that, and say, well, do you want her to be your alliance or do you want these people to be your alliance? Because who's going to look out for you? And I think he just is not used to that type of world.
Right.
So,
and I think it's kind of like what Herman said later on. You know, obviously his intentions were good, but there is something to be said for tact and being tactful,
Well,
and knowing what to
and
say.
that's what I was going to say. It's like, you know, it's like she said, he was coming from a good point,
Sure.
and from a good, you know, he was.
Right.
I'm sure he was coming from a good place, but at the same time, it's like we're sneaky.
right.
Humans are sneaky, so we know when to say something, plant that seed,
Right.
and then it's gonna, like, out of nowhere.
Right.
Right.
So I think he knew what he was doing.
Right.
So he was just trying to, like, mess with her, but he's so innocent that he'd be like, oh, well, wait, no, I didn't mean it like
No
that.
way.
Like,
I don't know. Yeah, I feel, I don't know. Because now that you say that, I feel like if you're going to warn somebody, you wouldn't tell them the whole conversation. You'd be
Right.
like, look, there's folks not believing you about this whole ranch thing.
Right.
So, figure it out.
And just kinda leave it
get
at
together.
that, right.
Like, yeah, like that's how you, like, that's how I would tell somebody. I wouldn't tell somebody a whole conversation. I'd be like, look, something's going down. You might be in jeopardy. Figure it out.
No one buys it.
Just in case you didn't know.
And yeah, and on the point of kind of being extra careful with your words and knowing exactly what to say.
Right.
When Allison comes to Hannah about it,
Oh my gosh.
Hannah does some gymnastics around the topic where she's like, look, I myself personally have never felt manipulated by you.
Right.
And kind of is very careful to dance around
Honestly,
it.
it's like a politician, you know?
Yeah.
My brothers say I'm like that too. Like, when they ask me something and I don't want to answer, they're like, hey, Yvette, or, you know, are you with so-and-so or so-and-so
Right.
there? And I'm like, yeah, I like apples. What did you do today?
Yeah.
You know, it's just like,
I don't know. I'm so tired of Allison. I don't know. I almost, you know how some of those situations you want to just put yourself in it to see how you
Right.
react.
Right.
Because I'm so tired of her that I'd be like, yeah, bitch.
I was surprised. I was kind of surprised that isn't what happened.
Yeah,
you
like,
know?
yeah, we know you did the ranch. That's why you're here alone.
Mm.
Nobody likes you. Like,
I just feel like
kick rocks.
I think everyone's like commenting on it, and then when push came to shove, it's kind of like,
Yeah.
Well,
they
Yeah.
said
you
something.
know, I mean, they said
That
it,
wasn't
but I
me.
mean, I agreed. I didn't stop them. I joined
personally
in on the
didn't feel
conversation,
manipulated.
but
You
you
know
know,
who-
I'm not part of the red team, so I personally wasn't affected by it. So, you know, do you if it doesn't affect me, you know.
I want Carla to say something. Like, I wish Carla was in that situation.
Shit's got to go down between us and Carla.
I
at some
hope
point.
so, or at least Carla, because out of everybody, Carla tells it like it is. Like,
Right,
She does.
Yeah, I don't have time to.
No, yeah.
Yeah, it's about me. I'm gonna
here to
do these
make
2
friends.
challenges. I'm
Yeah.
not here to make friends.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna look pretty doing it with her 45 minutes of getting dressed. Like, can't hate on that.
Right. So, but oh god, it made me feel so bad for Chris because he tries to apologize to Hannah, who promptly loses her shit.
And breaks her glasses.
Breaks her glass.
I love it.
man.
I can't.
That was such a like an intense moment, and I could feel my ears like flush hot like for
Like,
Chris.
yeah, like you're getting like, oh, shit. Oh,
Right,
come
exactly.
on, you can do it.
Because there's nothing else you could really say at that point.
No, you just have to
kinda-
take it and
you
bend over.
Yeah,
Yep.
you just, in so many words, sure.
I'm being good.
Why, you don't want to talk about The Rock now? Or?
Move on. We go.
Wow.
I love when
Since he was brought up,
I'm
when
just
Chris,
saying.
when Chris and Hannah make up and they're hugging, and Rich is just like, I don't know why y'all hugging, but I'm glad. He just has no idea what's going on.
he's like,
Well, he was training.
Exactly. He was training.
He lost 15 pounds, so kudos to that.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. There you go. So we get our elimination challenge for the week, which is, you know, earlier we saw everyone balancing on these kind of half Swiss
Bosu
balls. Exactly, and using ropes to balance. It was basically that, except in the water instead of on land.
I wonder why they were. Like, I felt like, okay, once you get the balance of the ball, why continue to hold the rope? Like, as training, it felt like, okay, you know, yeah, I don't know.
I see what you're saying.
It felt like, okay, now you're on the ball, now you're holding the rope. Great. So let's flip it over and now try to balance without holding rope. So now you're kind of adjusting to all sorts of ways of balance. And I don't know if they did that, like, and they just didn't air it, but it felt like, okay, like, you know, Chris is talking and holding onto the rope, and, you know, he's kind of getting his balance, which was cool, but they should have, you know, felt like should have added different elements of that, like preparation training. But
Right,
again,
exactly.
it might have been there, but we just didn't see.
And that's the thing, yeah, exactly. We've talked about it with a lot of the interviews we've done so far. It's like we don't know what we're not seeing, you know,
Right.
so we can only go off of so much. But it seemed like this one wasn't really as drawn out as a lot of the other
Oh my gosh.
challenges. that
Richard
were there.
hopped on that thing. I thought he was going to drop off in like 30 seconds. Like, dude.
Right.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Eh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I just wanted to.
But you know.
A noise.
But it seemed like it didn't really go that long before you know he loses his
It's
balance.
all core.
Right.
And
That's
if
the
you
thing.
don't have a strong core, despite your weight, because there's plenty of people
absolutely.
who are tall, short, whatever, who have great cores, and they have, you know, 50 pounds of fat around it,
Yeah.
but their core is really strong.
And
they
they'll
could
even
help-
tell you, like, some of the easiest is
Yeah.
to suck it in.
Yeah.
And, like, just think about it like sucking it in and
Yeah.
holding it. That's the best way. But
So, I was
Right.
kind of disappointed because I thought he was gonna like ninja it out.
Yeah.
And
I
know,
but
I know.
He was all over the place. I'm like, this dude's going down.
Right. And that's the thing,
Like the Titanic.
I'm telling you, I was surprised. Like, if he was a football player, he should know to engage your core.
Yeah,
but
but it
balancing on
depends.
water is a whole different beast.
You have
though.
people saying they're football players and they played 1 year in 9th grade.
Sure.
So, like,
Or they were like a red shirt, like all 4 years.
right.
And you could have balanced for hours on land, but once you get in water, like it's
Yeah.
a whole different
Oh.
kind of weight dynamic.
Channel Jesus.
I mean, there's always that.
Bros
you
for
could,
Christ.
You could always channel Jesus.
Bros for guys.
So
Jesus, help us get The Rock on the show.
Yes.
yeah, exactly,
Jesus,
exactly.
take the
So Richard's out, sadly, but he, you know what? He found his grit. It's like he said a few weeks ago. You know, when he said that he wouldn't be heartbroken if he had to leave. He found his grit.
Did he?
I think so. If you know,
I think he found it more afterwards.
right, and I think that's probably a lot of what's happening is like you learn the lessons kind of after the fact, you know. But if he lost all that weight, if
He lost 15 pounds.
that's
thought
a
it was
good
50.
deal.
He said that all that weight.
That's a good deal.
I thought
of
it was
weight.
50, though.
No, it's
No,
15,
no, not
1
50.
5.
Not 50.
See?
15's a decent amount of weight. It's a start. It's a start.
It is.
It's a
no,
start.
I'm not taking that away from him, but again, it could be editing. But it just didn't seem like
They definitely didn't give him an edit that he was working his ass off the whole time.
Right.
They made him seem like he was
The funny guy.
The funny, I'm sorry,
Sure.
the funny fat guy
Yeah.
who just kind of like squeezed his way through.
Right.
That's what they made him out to be, which kind of sucks because
it didn't look like he learned anything. Like
Yeah.
he said, you know, he got some grit and he's gonna take stuff that what's the Ricky taught him. But throughout the editing and all this stuff, it seems like he's just gonna go back and vlog and, you know, eat chips.
Right.
So, you know, like
Could be.
it didn't feel like he learned any lessons. Whereas when Janessa left last week, like you could see that.
Oh, that was
you know, she was like they let her have a whole thing, and you know what I'm saying. So I don't know. It just didn't appear. Maybe he did, but on the final end, what we saw,
Right.
I didn't see any type of learning.
Right. I wouldn't say not any type of learning, at least a little.
I mean, now you can flip over a twig.
Maybe.
I think they really did a disservice for him.
Sure.
Instead of like, you know, they, like I say, they just made him seem like the lazy funny guy that didn't really do anything. The one that was like, if you were to say, you know, match this quote to the person, and it said, I never even wanted to be here, they'd probably all be like, Rich.
Right.
You know? And he kind of didn't deserve that.
Right.
So it's like, when he does accomplish something, or if he does say he finds his grit, half of everyone watching is probably like, okay.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
you found your grit.
Like, yeah, like what? What did he, like, what was his grit? Like, do you even know? Like, you know, Allison's...
From that first episode, like
Yeah.
what everyone was kind of trying
Right.
to get over.
Like,
right?
you know, Allison is, you know, a pathological liar. Like, you know that, and who knows she can get over that. Like, you know, you kind of know almost everybody's, you know, issue that they're trying to deal with. But, you know, what was he a procrastinator? Like, I don't know
Right.
what his
Yeah, I
grit is.
remember.
And what he didn't say, or whatever he said or did say after it was done, he rang out the bell. They didn't air that. So, you know, when he says that, I'm like, you know, is he gonna gain back? Because losing 15 pounds and gaining 15 pounds back is very easy to do.
Sure.
So, like, is he gonna continue, or is he gonna be like, oh, that was a great experience, and then go back to eating like Krispy Kreme donuts? Like,
Right.
what's the deal? So,
Yeah.
sorry, Rich, but
Ruth, give it.
What's that, Len?
Giving it 100.
okay.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
You know what?
He
Lem-
said he's
like,
going to buy
brings
us
up-
Krispy Kreme.
Lem brings up a
next
good
week.
point. Yeah. Exactly.
Next
exactly.
episode is called Shady Grady. Who
Yeah.
knows, some game that Shady's playing backfires or something. Okay.
We get exactly. If y'all saw the kind of the next episode preview, we see a little bit possibly the makings of an alliance between Burke and Grady.
Oh my gosh.
Ugh.
Which would be so hypocritical.
Right.
So hypocritical.
Right.
Hypocrisy at its finest.
Yeah.
But that's where the whole thing goes to, at the end of the day, you're doing it for you,
Right.
not for the team.
Yeah, it ain't like last
he was
season.
preaching to the choir. He's like, yes, team, it's your character, it's your this. Well, then what do the cadres get out of it?
Right.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the cadres get any type of money.
They have,
like incentive.
they do.
But like how much?
Right. I'm very curious about that. Text Chloe.
But I know,
I don't know.
I know.
Chloe, I see you, Chloe. You see her, she looking fan.
Yes, she is.
Traveling all over
All
the
over the
world.
Hot Spain girl, I've always
I'm
wanted to
telling
go.
you, I'm telling
There
you.
you go. There you
Hanging
go.
out with Director X, like one of the major like directors in like the hip hop culture. Just fine, Canada's at its finest. I see you. Just
But
saying.
big deal.
that's what I'm saying, because usually a lot of these shows, well, you know, if they're coupled up or, you know, paired up with someone, or it's a celebrity mentor or something, if your person wins, there's some, if you look at a breakdown,
Incentive.
like the higher you go, the more pay the contestant gets.
Right.
And if you get to the finals, then obviously the contestant and their mentor gets more. But the farther the mentor goes, the more their pay
So
goes
base
up,
plus incentive.
basically.
Right. There you go.
Yeah,
There you
well,
go.
I mean, if I were Allison's cadre, I'd be like, I'm out. I can go back to my regular life.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. We'll be talking about that episode next week. We'll be talking about Shady Grady. Lem will be back in this seat. We will have switched positions, basically.
It was good to have you here, though, Lem.
He'll be
Appreciate
back.
it.
He'll
Yeah.
be back as host. Yvette's voice will be back.
It
Maybe.
will.
Fingers crossed.
Maybe.
It'll be fun times. So join us then. Same time, same channel, all that good stuff. Guys, in the meantime, where can they find you?
You can always find me at Sports and Sass with 3 S's on Twitter, 2 S's on Instagram, and I don't know, add a fourth one, see what you find there.
Any number of S's.
If you put a whole bunch of X's, you probably see what you can find
Oh,
there.
boy.
Actually,
Rock.
I won't, ooh. Actually, I won't be here next week. I'm gonna be in the T-Dot. I'll be in the 416.
There you
6.
go.
So I will not be here, but I know you guys will carry on without me. Anywho.
We'll try.
Cheer. You can find me on everything at TK Trinidad. So next week will be the end of my first season.
Man.
And by the way,
End
can
of
we
an
just
era.
comment? I really love her hair.
Oh.
I love it like
Absolutely.
that. It's very sexy.
Absolutely.
My DMs have been blowing up. It's crazy. Just,
I hear that's where it goes down.
Well, I guess, yeah. All right.
Lem,
like it.
Lem,
I'm saying,
where can they find you?
where can they find you?
In her
right,
DM.
Right, as he said, at the Point Saint, you can
And
find
send
him
him
online.
some DMs too.
Send him his,
Yeah.
that's exactly.
Preferably in heels, he said.
There you go.
Men. Buff men in heels.
There you go. There you
Yeah.
go. Guys, you can find me on all forms of social media at Ty Matthews PMA, as well as the Lucha Underground show in only 1 hour, and then the American Ninja Warrior after show next Wednesday at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
9 o'clock.
And the Rock, you can
Think
find
about it.
us.
Just find
At The Rock.
But guys, until next week.
hashtag inappropriate rock
Peace.
comments.
Hashtag work out with The Rock.
Later.
With anything on, without
Goodbye.
anything on.
Without anything.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.